He hasn't had the support, but lately, particularly since Joe Faragelli's gotten here, he's getting a lot of support from his supporting cast.
Well, one of the reasons he has had more success, I think he's utilizing more of his weapons, including running back Reggie Barnes, who gets the call. Under Steve Goldman, Barnes was probably carrying only 7 or 8 times per game, and Faragelli wants Barnes to run the ball between 20 and 25 times per game.
Joe Faragelli is a pure vanilla coach, as they call them, and they like to run those backs. They like to get the backs in there, get the defense, keeping them in there tight, and then throw the ball out to a guy like Eddie Brown, who's got a lot of speed.
2nd and 5, Ottawa. Attempted to swing it out to Reggie Barnes. Barnes got himself turned around over on the sidelines. And the Ottawa Rough Riders are 2 and out on their first offensive series as Terry Baker goes out to launch a punt from his 25-yard line. Trevathan and Jefferson are back to receive this 3rd down kick. Trevathan number 77, Jefferson number 12. The Lions attempting to keep pace with the Edmonton Eskimos, who were winners 51-37 over the Calgary Stampeders on Friday night. Jefferson takes it at the 20, gets it out to the 27-yard line. Good downfield tackling led by Tracy Gravely.
You're going to hear that name a lot, Tracy Gravely. He's a good coverage man. I know George Cortez will be smiling when he sees that kind of coverage every time. Doug Flutie going into the lineup knows that he's got a healthy John Volpe, and that makes him feel a lot better about his pass protection. If you can keep that run, keep the defense honest with the running game, Flutie will have a good day.
He has completed over 61% of his passes this season. A reverse with Clark, and Clark will pick up about 5, maybe 6 yards before being cut down by Anthony Drawhorn.
Well, that's a good call. I like to see that early in a ball game because that sends a message that you guys on the backside, you're going to have to stay at home because we'll run reverses. We're going to get the ball to Alexander. We know that Volpe's able to run the ball, and Flutie, he's got the magic.
Alexander just 60 yards away from becoming a 1,000-yard receiver on the season. The pitch to Volpe. Volpe trying to get outside, and he turns that corner and converts it into a first down.
Well, the defense is going to have to be concerned with that all day because Volpe can squirt up inside, and when he gets outside, he has that amazing ability to turn it on. So Brian Bonner's got to do his job, and they have to get pressure from Lloyd Lewis. Of course, Charles Gordon has got his work cut out for him to cover Alexander.
1st and 10, BC from their own 42-yard line. One of the things Ottawa is attempting to do, prevent Doug Flutie from going from sideline to sideline. He gives the ball to Skinner, and Skinner picks up about 3. Patrick Wayne, the linebacker, came in to make the tackle on Skinner. Faragelli was saying that Flutie appears to be at his dangerous when he can go from sideline to sideline because the receivers then mirror what he's doing, and he has the ability to pick them out. That's what Faragelli is attempting to stop Flutie from doing. Second and 7. The ball is at the 45. Greg Stuman got through quickly, but Flutie escaped, and he'll run for a first down.
Well, that's typical Doug Flutie. That's what we call the fish hook. Doug Flutie has that ability to take the defensive charge and turn it into his favor. What he'll do, he does a fish hook, which is just like a half circle. Watch him come back around. Anybody coming in at a tight angle on Doug Flutie will never get him. BC picked up the blitz. Flutie saw the blitz overload to the left. He sprinted out to his right.
1st and 10 BC from the 50-yard line. Take to Volpe. Here comes the back blitz, and the pass is complete to Clark.
Doug Flutie just ducked underneath that pass rusher, saved himself because Hunter was coming in to take his head off, and Flutie has that ability to see out of the ear holes. Watch Flutie as he throws the ball, duck underneath, and avoid a big tough hit.
Daniel Hunter thought he had them all lined up, but Flutie unloaded just in time to Matt Clark, and it's a first down. The ball is at the 28. Draw play with Volpe. He decides to take it outside, and he'll pick up about 5 yards. Drawhorn was one of those in on the stop for Ottawa. Volpe, number 5 in league rushing. He's the number 1 rusher with the BC Lions, over 600 yards this season.
He's the number 1 rusher when the other team's trying to stop Doug Flutie, that's for sure. But what's amazing about BC is that they've got those 3 weapons they do so well with. They've got the Volpe coming on the sprint draws, and they got Alexander out there who really opens things up for the other receivers, and of course the magic flute, Doug Flutie.
Floyd Lewis is the injured player, and the Rough Riders have had problems along that defensive line this year. Glenn Kolka is out last week, and again this week. Faragelli had been hoping to rotate 3 of those defensive front 4, Greg Stuman being the only constant. But with Kolka injured, and now Lewis down and being attended to, that is going to cause some problems for Ottawa out front. And the Lions are hoping to change something that has been a problem for them throughout the season. That's an inability to put points on the board in the opening quarter. They've scored only 12 first quarter points this season.
I think that's why you're seeing so much of what BC's doing in this drive. They're giving him so many different looks. I think Obilovich realizes that they've got to get more than 12 points in their first quarter. And what he's done, he's given them the reverse they started the game with. He's gone with 4 receivers to the wide side of the field, really given a lot of looks to the Ottawa defense in hopes that they can get down there and get some points.
Floyd Lewis appears to be okay as he walks off to the sidelines, but he'll be out for at least 3 plays as Rob Prodanovic comes in to take his place at defensive tackle.
They need Lewis in there.
2nd and 5, some premature movement at the line of scrimmage, no penalty flag. Trevathan was the intended receiver, and Andre Francis knocked it away.
Don't be too sure that that penalty is against Ottawa, because sometimes they call it against the quarterback, but Flutie alertly marked out those signals, got the defense jumping. He knew he had a new defensive lineman in there. Smart move by Doug Flutie.
Well, there was movement at the line of scrimmage, and the flag, a delayed flag on the far side of the field for an offside call against the Ottawa Rough Riders.
Offside. Ottawa number 74, 2nd down repeated.
Prodanovic, who replaced Lewis, is the man who jumped.
That's good football by Flutie. You know, he just knew exactly what to do. He got a new guy in there, made him jump. He got him jumping.
2nd and less than a yard for BC. 9:58 is the time remaining in this opening quarter. Volpe, the ball carrier, big hole, touchdown.
Volpe with the BC touchdown. Appreciate it, keep out Volpe.
An 18-yard run for John Volpe. He has quick acceleration when that hole opens, and he dashed through it for a BC touchdown with 9:50 remaining in this opening quarter.
That's what we said at the top. When Volpe has that ability to go through the line, you're going to give the defense a lot of problems, because you've got Volpe inside, you got Flutie outside, and Alexander deep.
Hunter at goal line attempted to knock the ball out of Volpe's arms, but he had already crossed the line, hung onto the football. Pasaglia adds the point after. The BC Lions lead by a converted touchdown. We'll be back with the BC kickoff after this.
Goal line is, and what he does best is follow those lead blockers. That play was what you call an isolation play, where he had the lead backs coming through, getting a key block here. The lead back came through. When Volpe took the ball, he made a perfect break for the touchdown. Knowing Flutie's still a threat to the outside, the defensive end had to look for him. Volpe's in for the score. He said, that's easy.
A low-angle look at the 18-yard touchdown run by John Volpe, and the BC Lions lead it by a score of 7-0. Caravetta's kickoff is taken by Drawhorn, and Drawhorn will be downed at the 38-yard line. The BC Lions on their first offensive series put together an 83-yard drive in 8 plays, and an 18-yard touchdown run by Volpe makes it 7-0, 9:45 remaining in this opening quarter. That convert by Lou Pasaglia, by the way, his 360th consecutive extra point. J.T. Hay holds the CFL record, 363 consecutive converts. First and 10 from the 38. Damon Allen under pressure. There's a penalty flag on the play.
Allen.
By Neil Mayo made the sack, but there was a penalty flag at the line of scrimmage. Offside against BC.
Damon Allen said, hey, I can get that defense jumping. 2 guys can play that game. But BC's got to settle in. Their defense
Offside,
is rated.
BC number 7. First down repeated.
The defense is rated 7th in yardage given up, or 7th in points given up, 34 points, 34.6. I don't know what you can do with 0.6 points, but that's a lot of points given up per game.
Well, one of the reasons Lionel Mayo was in there so quickly is that he was offside.
That doesn't count.
Last night we saw Matt Dunnigan go over the 25,000 mark in passing yards. And as Reggie Barnes takes this Damon Allen throw, that moves the Ottawa quarterback closer to 15,000 career yards. Bruce Holmes making the tackle on Reggie Barnes.
Reggie Barnes is giving Holmes something to think about. When he got the ball, he got it in a good position. The ball was low. When you get the ball and you catch it low, you can make a break on the D-backs. As Barnes comes up, he's still in running position to catch the football.
First and 10 from the midfield stripe. Allen throwing to the sidelines, and Gerald Wilcox will be credited with the catch as he kept his feet in bounds in front of Ken Watson.
Damon Allen threw that football. He zinged it. He winged that ball right in there. That was a good throw. Nice break by Wilcox. He's breaking. Watch him make some room. Break off to the outside. Got some separation and pulled it in.
Both feet, as we saw in the replay, actually came down inbounds. He only had to come down with one inside the chalk mark. He got both of them down. It's first and 10. The ball is at the 39. Penalty flag, and this has been a constant problem for the Ottawa Rough Riders throughout the year, a time count violation.
Time count violation, Ottawa number 9.
Well, you don't want to see that, and I know Joe Faragelli's a little bit upset with it, but what he liked about Damon Allen, Damon showed a nice little touch, dumped the ball off to Barnes, and then he came back and he showed a lot of arm strength by zigging that ball out to Wilcox, but now it's first and 15.
And Joe on the sidelines was saying to Damon, hurry up. Several times this year when they've been in scoring position, the Riders have been hurt by a time count violation. First and 15. Allen going for deep for broke with Wilcox, and he's got it. A 35-yard completion to Gerald Wilcox.
When BC puts their safety on a receiver like Wilcox, they're in trouble. And Andrew Thomas got beat on the post corner. Damon knew what he had to do. He had to get that ball with a lot of air under it because they got the post corner break. Wilcox pulled it in.
Stu Hill got to Allen, but too late. 35 yards the gain on the pass completion. Gerald Wilcox taking it to the 9-yard line. Damon Allen decides to run. Touchdown. Touchdown run. Good block from Gerald Roper, opened things up.
That was a call all the way. That was a quarterback draw call. It was a trap play. Damon Allen did a great job of showing pass until that guard pulled out and got the block.
The point after by Terry Baker, and with 7:13 remaining in the opening quarter, we've got a tie game. And we'll be back with the Ottawa kickoff after this.
The Toronto's win over Hamilton, but the point spread did. The Argonauts now lead the Bombers by 4, Ottawa by 6, so it's important for both the Bombers and Rough Riders to win this afternoon to stay in touch. Bombers host Saskatchewan later today, and it's an all but impossible climb out of the basement for Hamilton. In the West, Calgary leads. A BC win here would move them into a second-place tie with the Edmonton Eskimos, and Saskatchewan is still in the race for a playoff spot, as I mentioned, playing at Winnipeg Stadium against the Bombers later today. Don?
And the Ottawa Rough Riders have some designs on catching Winnipeg for second place in the East. They still have 2 games remaining with Winnipeg, but first and foremost on their agenda, this return engagement with the BC Lions. Lorenzo Graham on the kickoff return. He had one man to beat, and Terry Baker wouldn't go for the take on the sidelines, and there's a penalty flag. Well,
when you have 2 quarterbacks with the ability of Damon Allen and Doug Flutie, they show pass, and he comes out. Gerald Roper gives him a sneaky block
Major
out here
foul
for the
unnecessary
touchdown.
roughness, number 51 BC, first down.
Show pass, Damon drops back, sneaky block to the right, boom, he's in there for the touchdown. Look out, it's a tie ball game with 2 mobile quarterbacks.
a 46-yard run back by Lorenzo Graham, but the ball comes back to the 36. An unnecessary roughness call against Bruce Holmes, well behind the play. First and 10 from the 36. Chris Skinner stumbled as he took that handoff from Flutie, but got out to the 41-yard line.
I'll tell you, Jamie Terrace was right up underneath Kropke, and he was getting some movement. They got to get Snipes. They got to get Angelo Snipes before they can get anything inside on the run. Gene Gaines right now is trying to cool Holmes down a little bit, telling him what he's going to do. Look, everything's going to be all right. Just keep those elbows in. Don't get upset. There's one of the better coaches in the CFL, Gene Gaines.
A longtime assistant after a lengthy playing career, mostly with Montreal. Alexander on the sidelines, going up and over Gordon to make the catch.
Well, in golf, you have a golf shot, and in football, you have a football catch. And that is Ray Alexander making a football catch. When he jumps up, he's about 10 feet tall. Look at him reach up, pull that ball in, and gain control of it before he comes up. That is a great catch.
First and 10. The ball is at the 53. 6 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. The game is tied at 7. As we mentioned earlier, Alexander coming into this game 60 yards shy of hitting 1,000 for the season. Trevathan has a first down at the 40-yard line.
Now you sit here and you look at Flutie getting the pressure from the backside. You say he's really going to get creamed this time. He knows where he is. He knows where the defense is. Watch Flutie throw the ball just in time.
And that's what Coach Faragelli was talking about. Flutie, he says, is so dangerous when he can go sideline to sideline, and those receivers mirror what he's doing.
Yeah, he doesn't want to make yardage. He just wants to get somebody open, and he does a great job of it.
He had Matt Clark open, but Clark couldn't hang on to the football.
I think they expected man coverage, and they got themselves in a zone underneath. And Flutie had to really press to get that thing in there, and Clark had it a little bit behind him.
Neither team has been noted for its first quarter productivity. The BC Lions with just 12 points in the opening quarter. The Ottawa Rough Riders with 47. It's 7-7 with 4:56 remaining in the opening quarter. Second and 10 BC. They are at the 39-yard line. Chris Skinner takes the throw, and Skinner is stopped at the 31.
Offside call, I believe. Flutie had him jumping again.
Ball on the 31.
Skinner's trying to come back inside, and Hunter wrapped him up.
Well, Prodanovic jumped at the line of scrimmage, but there was no flag.
Yeah, I'm sure he jumped. He came over, and it looked like offsides all the way. Flutie's probably upset because he thought so, too. That's why he threw the ball away. I think he'd have gone downfield.
Fasaglia attempting a 38-yard field goal. It is good. And with 4:13 remaining in the opening quarter, the BC Lions move into a 3-point lead.
On the Ottawa bench, Lloyd Lewis is trying to shake off the effects of an injury, but he'll not return to this game until he gets some feeling back in his right arm. It's gone dead, the result of what football players call a burner. It happens when a player jams his head in for the tackle and pinches a major nerve in the shoulder area, and it's why some players wear this protective collar. It often helps prevent burners, and given that Lewis has suffered this injury for the second time in as many games, happened to him on the third last play at BC Place on Wednesday night, it's likely that when he comes back, if it's in this game, he could be wearing, and at least should be wearing, something like this. Don?
Well, Scott, there have been a number of players in the CFL who have had their careers shortened by injuries such as the one Lloyd Lewis just suffered. Wide open is Jock Climbing. First down at the 48 of BC.
Well, Damon Allen saw the zone coverage. He just put it right over the backers and underneath the defensive backs. He found a big hole. Watch Climbing as he breaks outside. That zone man has to stay as deep as the deepest. That's well-executed play. That's what was there. He took what the defense left him.
Obviously, he sold Norman Jefferson on the deep route, and when he turned back, he was wide open.
Norman Jefferson has to stay deep because there can be another receiver from the far side of the field coming over. And as he turned to take his deep coverage, there was Climbing. Climbing made amends after having dropped that pass last week. This is what he's trying to do, make amends from last week.
The injured BC player is safety Andrew Thomas. Robin Belanger will come in. And Scott talked about those neck supports.
He's got a collar on, yeah.
First and 10, the ball is at the 48. Movement at the line of scrimmage, a penalty flag. And Reggie Barnes picked up about 2 yards. It appeared as though BC was offside. Gerald Bayless moved prematurely.
That's tricky Damon. Hobie's got to be concerned with his defense. You know, that's why he went to bring in people like Paul.
Offside, BC number 4. First down repeated.
The movement by number 4, Gerald Bayless, resulting in the offside call. It's first and 5, 3:15 remaining in the opening quarter. 10-7, BC leads. Reggie Barnes caught right at the line of scrimmage by Poe. Poe was slated to wear number 91, but in traveling to the nation's capital, Poe's number 91 jersey disappeared from the BC Lion equipment bag, so he's wearing number 64.
Bob Obilovich said that's the best way to stop that counter play. Get across the line of scrimmage, come underneath those pulling linemen and make the play. That's what Poe did.
Second and 7, the ball is at the 45. Allen's pass over the middle was intended for Jock Climbing. And Wetmore got a hand on it. As a matter of fact, there were 2 defenders between quarterback Damon Allen and the receiver Jock Climbing, and they both had a better chance at it than did Jock Climbing.
Well, Keith Poe had a twist stunt. He exchanged it. Watched the lineman run a twist stunt. Poe came back outside and then came around. Allen felt the pressure, tried to use that throwback, but a nice play by Wetmore, extending up, almost bringing down the ball.
Terry Baker will punt from his own 50-yard line. On third down with 2:23 remaining, Jefferson is the lone man back. This kick will go into the end zone and out of bounds for a single point.
Baker's not happy with that. He tried to push the kick. He wanted to just get it in there inside the 10-yard line, but it traveled too far. Sometimes you get a great kick when you don't really want one.
You know, a lot of people say, why don't they kick it out of bounds, angle it away from an outstanding punt returner such as the Rocket or Gizmo Williams? That's much more difficult than it looks.
Particularly on this field. This CFL field is wide, 65 yards wide, so to get that ball out of bounds sometimes, you really got to hook or slice it, and then you can shank it, so there's a lot of risk involved.
Baker was attempting to angle it out of bounds, instead put it through the end zone for a single point. 10-8 is the score, 1st and 10 BC from the 35. The toss to Volpe, he cut back to the 45-yard line. We said at the start of the game, one of the keys for BC today was Volpe, and he has been running well.
Oh, the engineer took off again. This guy engineers his own drives. Watch what he does. He gets all the defense on one side of the field. He got him split out, and he breaks a few tackles. He's booming and banging and slamming and jamming. This guy's a tough football player. He really is exciting. He makes any play look like fun.
28 yards on that run for John Volpe. He's carried 4 times for 60 yards so far this afternoon. And he has scored the lone touchdown. Waiting for that pass was Christensen. Out of bounds down at the 27. Scott Flagel made the tackle on Jay Christensen, but he was standing, waiting for that throw.
I think it was a screen pass is what they were looking for, Don, but they didn't get people out in front of it. I think they only got one guy back out in front. Didn't get enough help, but they had a good game on a stop pass, I guess is what you'd call that.
1st and 10, the ball is at the 27. Christensen this year having a banner season with 5 touchdowns already. Alexander is down to the 20-yard line. That will be a gain of about 7 yards. Stopped by Francis and Flagel.
This is the old Terry Greer play. This is what Obilovich did at Toronto. He put everybody to the wide side of the field, left one receiver over there, usually Terry Greer. Alexander's doing it for him now at BC. They didn't get one-on-one, though.
Terry Greer, of course, until last night, was the Toronto Argonauts' all-time pass reception leader in total yards. He was surpassed last night. An outstanding performance by Darrell K. Smith. Ryan Hansen, another ex-Argo, will get the first down inside the 10-yard line. Daniel Hunter made the tackle. And that is also the final play of the opening quarter. That BC offense has looked very sharp through 15 minutes.
The line of scrimmage. See how he gets his shoulders square, aimed down to the goal line, and that's an effective way to run.
If it works once, come right back with it is the theory that Damon Allen believes in, obviously, as he comes back with the same play, but this time Gerald Bayless stops Reggie Barnes after an advance of about 5 yards.
Well, the Lions have given up a lot of yards, the second most yards. They're actually ranked 7th. They've given up 443 yards a game. So Ottawa knows what they want to do. They want to dictate that running game to control the up front, then throw the passes.
2nd and 5. The ball at the 33-yard line. Backside pressure. Mayo's got Damon Allen.
The difference in the BC team today is that Mayo and Poe are doing some things up front. They're getting some pressure on the quarterback, and that's what BC's been looking for. You know, they brought Bruce Holmes in to help them on the running game, but now those linemen that they brought in, Poe particularly has looked good, and then of course Mayo, that helps when you get one lineman thrusting up front, the other one picks up the slack. Obilovich should be happy with that. Some good defensive series from the Lions.
Trevathan and Jefferson are back for Baker's 3rd down punt. 12:50 remaining in the 2nd quarter. Low snap. Baker fields it and gets away a pretty good kick. Jefferson waits for it at the 32. And Jefferson returns it to midfield. Sean Daniels was there to make the tackle, but the Lions have good field position with 12:36 remaining in the half.
Gag that just will not die. We used to give out cards for this sort of thing, but with budget cuts, we're down to a cheap trophy and a 1976 Olympic shirt, and the CBC Return to Sender Award competition is being dominated by Willis Jaycox of Saskatchewan and Henry Gizmo Williams of Edmonton. Jaycox could add to his kickoff and punt return yardage this afternoon in Winnipeg. Last time we were in Ottawa, Anthony Drawhorn made a move on this Return to Sender list and told me, of course, it'd be the biggest thrill of his life if he won the award. That was just after I explained to him what it was, and he'll need a few big games to get close to the leaders, Don.
I think he's attempting to avoid the leaders once he gets a glimpse of what the reward will be. Christensen running the reverse and winding up at the BC bench.
Christensen was looking all the way to throw that football. They have a reverse pass off of that. That's what he was looking for. He wanted to get that ball downfield and throw the thing. Watch Christensen. He puts the ball in that right hand, and he's looking to throw. Look, he's getting the seams ready to get over those fingers. Sees that the defenders are covered downfield, and he just makes a meager gain of about 10 yards. Could have had a touchdown, but Ottawa Rough Riders, they weren't buying it. Oh, this will upset Creighton. Creighton O'Malley is not pleased with this. Some of his equipment wrenches are strewn about on the ground. That's all right. Cato will do most of the work.
Christensen went into that BC bench. Daniel Hunter and Anthony Drawhorn taking him in there. And they sent a lot of the medical equipment flying off the table.
You know, Volpe can throw from that formation as well. They run a sweep, and Volpe's got a pretty good arm. Christensen
gets a gain of 9. It will be 2nd and 1. The ball is at the 46. 12:15 remaining in quarter 2 with BC leading Ottawa 17-8. Flutie will keep, and he gets across the 45-yard line. The result is a BC first down.
Joe Faragelli is worried because his defense has been ranked first against yardage given up. Ottawa right now is actually the first against yardage given up. They're third in points given up. So they're playing, the Lions are playing great football against one of the top defenses in the league.
Faragelli made his coaching debut with the Ottawa Rough Riders on August the 8th. A 41-31 win over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Flutie over the middle to Christensen, and that's one that the product of the Kelowna Sun knows he should have caught.
Well, it hit him right in the hands. No reason why he shouldn't have pulled it in.
He may have been a little surprised that he was so wide open.
You know, sometimes you get those thumbs in and you put the hands right up in your face and you don't actually see the ball come into it. That's what happened. Christensen's hands were right in front of his eyes. Not a good place for them to be.
The Lions have only missed one on 2nd down conversion attempts. They complete another with Alexander taking it out of bounds for a first down at the 33. He made the catch in front of Andre Francis.
You've got to be impressed with Alexander. This is like Nureyev at the ballet. Watch him go up for the football. Perfect body control, and he brings it down. He would have been both feet in bounds, actually. Good blitz pickup. And you don't blitz on Doug Flutie. He always goes away from the overload, away from the most people.
Jamie Terrace did a good job of picking up Brian Bonner on that blitz. The draw play with Volpe, and Volpe has nowhere to go. Patrick Wayne made the tackle.
There again, they're coming, trying to give them pressure. It's what they call an M&M blitz. The two middle backers are coming. Patrick Wayne, of course, wasn't blocked, so he had a good shot at Volpe.
2nd and 10. 4 receivers, to the left. Flutie looking to the end zone. Clark is wide open.
Well, there's a couple Ottawa defenders looking at each other, wondering what the heck happened. Who's supposed to take who? That was a good play by the BC Lions. They dropped out. They had their receiver drop out of the picture. He didn't even go out for the pass. Really confused the secondary. 4 receivers to one side. You can see Drawhorn there. His man was trying to be a decoy. He just dropped back. He dropped right back into the backfield, and that's what caused the confusion. Matt Clark wide open.
The point after by Lou Pasaglia. And the BC Lions have taken control of this game.
Let's give some credit to Doug Flutie. He avoided the rush, stepped up inside all of those rush people, and knew that Matt Clark was unmanned. When you have man-to-man coverage, you got a guy unmanned. Credit Flutie with the ability to get it to the wide open Matt Clark. They really confused the defense by shifting back into a different formation. Hobie's telling him right now, look, when they got 4 receivers on that side and they bring the halfback over, Coach, he already did it. You don't have to tell him. He knows what he's doing. The magic flute.
He's held a hot hand here at Lansdowne Park this afternoon. He's put together 3 good scoring drives for the BC Lions, and they lead 24-8 with just over 10 minutes remaining in the second quarter.
It's hard to break tradition, and the Lions have traditionally not started out very well. So I think Flutie just sat down with the rest of his teammates and said, look, we're going to start this ball game. We're going to do some things we haven't done. And they're showing a lot of different looks to Ottawa, and it's paid off.
Brock Smith on the kickoff return. There's a penalty flag on the play. Forced Brock Smith out of bounds, but there was a penalty flag back at the 40-yard line.
You know, I really agree with the not blocking below the waist, but they got to widen that strike zone. They call so many plays illegal
blocks. Ottawa number 37.
You know, the only thing they let you hit is the numbers, so they got to widen the strike zone a little bit. Let them hit the shoulders. Let's get some returns. You see the Rocket almost every time has his returns called back.
First and 10.
Michel Lamy was guilty of the illegal block. First and 10, the ball is at the 25. Reggie Barnes trying to follow that convoy, leading the blocking to the outside. Gerald Roper was out in front of him, but Gerald Bayless came across to help Ken Petway make the tackle.
Well, Rob Smith and Gerald Roper, it was student body left, it looked like. The whole student body's out in front of the play. Barnes had trouble getting through his own lineman.
A gain of 8. It will be 2nd and 2. Faragelli sends in the short yardage offense. 9:22 remaining in this first half. 24-8. BC leads Ottawa. Barnes struggles and reaches out to the 36-yard line. That should be a first down.
I'll give that one to Barnes because he was tackled behind the line of scrimmage. He just, second effort got him there.
Yeah, usually with him, the guard was back in on that. Yeah, a lot of times when a guy hits that back.
There's a lot of coaching going on in the sidelines. Scott Flagel, he said, I don't need any coaching. I'm just going to get back in there and hit somebody.
And that he does very effectively. Barnes again up to the 40-yard line. A gain of 4. It will be 2nd and 6. O.J. Briggins came over to make the tackle.
I'll tell you, Bruce Holmes cleaned that tackle up, too, and he's happy about it. He's back in his old hometown. Watch him come up and put a real hard bam. You couldn't see it from the top, but he really came in and put a good hit on Barnes.
Barnes, the number 2 rusher in the CFL, 733 yards coming into this game, 955, the league leading total of Winnipeg's Robert Mims. Jock Climby for a first down. And then taken out of bounds by Thomas.
That was a perfect pass by Damon Allen, right down the seam to Climby. Good job of clearing by Brock Smith.
Perseverance certainly paid off for Jock Climby. Primarily a backup. He got his opportunity to play as the result of injuries and is making the most of it. Climby again on the far side of the field for another Ottawa first down.
Damon Allen fakes to Reggie Barnes, and he comes back off, giving Climby the chance to drop back in, come back for the ball.
3 receptions for 56 yards for Jock Climby. Signed by Ottawa as a free agent. Played collegiate football at Queens. An attempted reverse with Climby. He got the football and will pick up 4 yards on what could have been a disastrous play for Ottawa. Andrew Thomas made the tackle. Barnes lost control of the football as he attempted to flip it off to Climby. Watch it.
He wanted to hand it off, but he got tackled by Petway. Climby said, "Oh, what the heck, I'll pick it up off the ground. It's the same play anyway." He made a nice gain out of what could have been a catastrophe. Scoop it right, that's an athlete. Scoop it right up off the ground. Look at those low grounders. Watson came in to make the tackle.
6:19 remaining in this second quarter. Damon Allen is taken out of bounds, short of the first down by Lionel Mayo.
Well, that Lionel Mayo is doing a good job of fighting off the block. He was actually being held. I think they had a bear hug on him, and he was fighting and climbing and scratching to get outside, and he did do it, and that saved a first down. Good job, Mayo.
3rd and 4. Terry Baker comes into the game to attempt a field goal. Jason Garrett will hold at the 41. The lone man back is Jefferson. And Baker's kick is good. So the Ottawa Rough Riders narrow the deficit to 13 points with 5:47 left.
It is difficult to chase Doug Flutie or any other quarterback on a sprained ankle, and that's why Glenn Kulka is not playing for the Rough Riders today. Glenn, this BC offense is a handful.
Yeah, they're very diversified with the running game they have, with the double threat of Flutie and Volpe. It really makes it tough.
Seems like teams know what Flutie's going to do. They just can't stop him.
Well, it's the kind of thing where, like we said, their whole scheme is based on a cutback type of a system, and it's the kind of thing where it's an off-speed pitch. You're used to flowing to the ball, and it's cutting it back, and it's very effective.
Can you play next week?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. We just had a short week, only 4 days between games, and just couldn't quite squeeze it in time.
Percentage of injuries high enough on the football field, and you had to go hurt yourself in a car accident.
Well, it was a couple weeks back, and that's not affecting me at all anymore, so I'm just happy for that.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
A penalty flag on the kickoff return as Lorenzo Graham is stopped at the 26-yard line. Tracy Gravely came in, making the tackle on Graham.
That was Kulka? Which one was Kulka? I couldn't tell the difference.
Holding, BC number 36, first down.
I think Scott was on the left.
Weber takes a pretty good hit.
Behind, I think it was Christensen.
And then gets involved in making the tackle.
That's the fun of football, to play on those special teams, to sprint down the field 60 yards, get hit by 5 people, and still make the tackle. That's what's fun.
Mike Marasco was the player who hit Weber. Volpe started inside. He's very quick. When he can't see an opening going up the middle, he can quickly move to the outside, and he gets a BC first down.
Volpe is one of the few athletes that you'll see carry the football, and I don't think the football matters to that engineer. He carries the ball, and he can still run the same as if he weren't carrying the football. You know, that slows down a lot of athletes, but Volpe's so strong, so stocky, carrying the football doesn't slow him down at all. He's got good acceleration.
First and 10, the ball is at the 30. This time, no opportunity with Robinson in on Volpe almost as soon as he got the football. First contact was made by Greg Stuman, and then Robinson finished the job.
Well, that's the only way you can stop the counter play. You can't let those linemen, you see the linemen pull? As those linemen pull, you got to catch it from the backside, and that's what they did. Now,
Volpe was hurt earlier, and he appears to be injured again.
He's having trouble in the hip area.
4:26 is the time remaining here at Lansdowne Park. BC in front by 13. Volpe has been taking some punishment this afternoon, but he's also been a major cog in BC's offense, scoring a pair of touchdowns already, and possibly en route to a 100-yard rushing game. But he gets that knee twisted as he goes down.
Well, he landed on the tarmac over on the other side of the field when Flagel knocked him out of bounds. So it might be a complication from that as well. But he's taken some shots, and he's given some hits. He's broken some tackles and gone right through.
A loss of 5 on the play. It will be 2nd and 15. Have missed just once on 2nd down conversions. Lorenzo Graham into the ball game, replacing Volpe. Flutie gets away from Lewis. Throws along the sidelines, incomplete. It was intended for Trevathan. And if Trevathan wasn't able to catch that one, Flutie made sure that nobody else would get it either.
Well, he did zing it in there, but Daniel Hunter was right on him. He was right on his back, and Trevathan really didn't have any room. He couldn't breathe. Boy, this Flutie is something. You can't take that angle and get Flutie. You've got to come upfield, because he's always going to get outside of you. And if you come upfield too often, he'll come inside of that and get outside.
Pasagli at his own 10-yard line, his first punt of the ball game. Drawhorn fumbles it, gets it back at the midfield stripe. On the sidelines, let's bring in Scotto.
Don, John Volpe might consider donating his body to medical science while he's still alive. So far this season, he's had a broken toe, a hip pointer, 3 shots to the head that have all left him woozy. And on the last play, in which he was injured, about the only part of his body that was previously untouched was the groin area. So he's going to miss a few more plays, but he is one tough player. And this has got nothing to do with injuries, but I was just looking at him, and don't you think he looks like Woody from Cheers? He's a dead ringer.
Damon Allen has no option but to try and pick up a few yards along the sidelines. He was forced out by Bruce Holmes.
He wanted Eddie Brown deep, but Chris Major wasn't going to give Eddie Brown any room, and he was back there with him.
3:23 remaining in the first half. Joe Farragelli would like to see his Rough Riders put it in the end zone before the half ends. They trail by 13.
Well, Obi's got to be happy, but I know what Joe Farragelli's upset about. They're running play-action passing, and they don't even get the respect of the defense, and that's got to upset Papa Joe.
Quickly over the middle, and Conrad gets the first down.
David Conrad, that's a great play by David. He pulled the ball in and broke up the field, did a nice job. He's a football player. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey!
I'm an athlete, not an actor. Hey! Where's that music coming from? You know I don't have time for this.
But I do. Hit it!
Yeah!
2:59 is the time remaining in this second quarter. And the Rough Riders have a first down at the BC 37, BC leading 24-11.
This is a big series for Ottawa. They have to get some points on the board. You know what they're looking at is a situation where they really haven't been able to run the football, and then they get Damon Allen out there and he tries a play action pass, and the linebackers are still dropping off. They don't even respect the play action, so they've got to do something to get the respect of those backers. Bruce Holmes, of course, seen a lot of the Rough Riders, so he's not buying any of those play fakes.
Climby goes wide left. Brown comes out to the right. The pass is tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Keith Poe in there again. That's the guy we talked about. It's a new addition to the Lions. That really upsets quarterbacks. And what the defensive or the offensive linemen have to do, they got to get down in there where those defensive linemen live and make sure they don't reach their hands up.
That's what defensive linemen are taught to do when they're engaged like that. Get those hands up.
We've seen that happen a lot, knocking those balls down. Bats. Bat the ball down.
Faking the draw, the blitz by Petway, and Damon Allen circled away from it. Had he really gone after the first down, he may have picked it up. He hesitated a moment, and that enabled the defender to move up and perhaps stop him about 2 yards shy of that forward marker.
You're exactly right, Don. Damon did a great move. He did the old fish hook to get outside of the blitz, but he didn't sell it. He didn't really go after it for the first down or throw the ball. You got to do one or the other. You don't have time to think. Those guys up there will tell you that. You don't have time to think when you're in the north stands. Look at him shaking his head. If I was doing that, he said, I would have made the first down.
And Damon, in looking back on this play, probably will realize that he could have picked up the first down had he gone after it as soon as he got away from Petway. Field goal attempt by Baker. It's good. A 36-yard field goal by Terry Baker. 2:34 remaining. And it's 24-14. Let's join Scott on the sidelines.
Don, Phil Kershaw is president of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He's in Winnipeg with his team this afternoon, and we'll go there on Live at the Half to talk to him in his other capacity. He is chairman of the CFL's Board of Governors, and we'll discuss, among other things, the ownership situation or lack thereof here in Ottawa. And we'll also check the current stories in the Canadian Football League. Some key players are out, and there's a new record holder in Toronto, as well as a very unhappy receiver in Winnipeg. All of that coming up on Live at the Half.
Yes, the Winnipeg-Saskatchewan game will conclude Week 10 in the Canadian Football League. Week 9 and 10 saw all 8 teams engaged in home-and-home affairs.
Can I see the Dixie flag over there?
You may have. Volpe back into the lineup. And Volpe carries out to the 43. Angelo Snipes was the man he broke away from, and then Patrick Wayne came over to finish the job.
You got to aim lower, Angelo. He's a little guy. A little tough guy. I thought he was hurt. Scott told us all the injuries, but he's back in there making more yards.
The gain of 8, it is 2nd and 2. Maybe closer to 2nd and 1. Chris Skinner, however, won't get it. Stopped by Greg Stuman.
Well, they get the ball back with 2:08. Unless they elect to go for it, it looks like a long yard. Oh, Obi's going to kick it away, or at least he's sending the punt team in. Nice play by Stuman. Now, that doesn't make Obi very happy. You don't want to give the ball up 2 minutes to go in the half. You got a nice lead. Don't give them other chances. Papa Joe said, that's fine with me. Who wants some more points? Watch the shift, they're telling him. Don't jump off sides.
An offside, of course, would give BC a first down automatically. No penalty flags. Bisaglia's punt fielded by Drawhorn at the 30. He lost a yard on that return, stopped at the 29. Mike Marasco was downfield to make the tackle with 1:48 remaining in the half.
Here's a big test for the BC defense. 10-point lead. They'd like to go into halftime at least with that 10-point lead. Damon Allen has been hitting pretty well, 7 out of 10. In spite of, he hasn't gotten the big plays, and he's looked for the big plays first.
Well, that Ottawa offense has been patient, despite the fact they fell behind 24-8. They've continued to try to establish a running game with Reggie Barnes, and they've been running the reverse. This time they go with Brown. Damon Allen positioned himself all set to throw a block. He didn't make contact with Wetmore, but he did throw him off his pursuit path of Brown.
I wouldn't call it a block, I'd call it a screen. Give him an A for effort, at least for getting in front of him.
A gain of 7, taking the ball out to the 36.
Well, Jefferson saved the day. If Jefferson hadn't been there, that play would have gone a long way.
Draw play. Damon Allen to the 53. Stopped by safety Andrew Thomas.
They had the whole offensive set wide out. They had 6 receivers basically, and Damon Allen used that man-to-man coverage to his advantage. Just took the quarterback draw right up the middle.
Halfback, strong halfback! Strong halfback! Strong halfback!
Allen is forced to run again. This time he's caught from behind by Keith Poe.
They had a halfback blitz on. Damon Allen saw the blitz and thought he'd have a receiver open, but he couldn't find anybody, so he carried the ball.
Hey, Damon! Damon! Weak half! Weak half!
Running quarterbacks have become the vogue in the CFL.
I think we're getting the defensive signals from next door. Weak halfback blitz. They're screaming, the coaches are screaming, weak halfback. Here he comes, Ken Watson, number 3. Petaway came in. Coaches are calling it from next door.
Allen attempted to dump it off to Reggie Barnes. But Allen is taking a lot of time with this hurry-up offense and trying to get his plays underway.
I would think Damon should have seen by the shifting formation that Petaway would be the halfback blitzing, but that ball's way overthrown.
Petaway was coming from the backside. Trevathan and Jefferson are back. Good high kick by Baker. Jefferson goes into the end zone and brings it out to the 4. 30 seconds is the time remaining in the half. A good 61-yard kick by Baker and a 10-yard run back by Jefferson. I thought initially that he might concede the single point, but he opted to try and run it out and made it to the, well, they spot it now at the 3-yard line.
I think that was a good move by Jefferson. With 30 seconds to go, they're obviously not going to try to get any points, and to get the ball out of there and not concede the point, 30 seconds isn't much time to have to worry about field position.
If Flutie maintains this type of passing average, he will erase Warren Moon's single-season record from the books. Last week against Ottawa, the first time that he was held under 300 yards. However, the Lions did win 24-20. Volpe got to the 5-yard line before being stopped by John Kropke.
Well, with Volpe being injured, it's surprising to see him in there, carrying a football.
Timeout, Ottawa.
On a wasted down almost. It's surprising to see him have to carry the ball in those situations.
Ottawa calls a timeout to stop the clock with 26 seconds remaining.
Well, they'd like to get a punt and maybe go after it. That's what Faragelli's telling them now. If we make them punt, man, if we hold them on this down, we're going to go after it. We're going to rush them. He's got his special teams unit in there. He's talking to them.
The Rough Riders trail by 10. 26 seconds, the time remaining till halftime.
Future Rough Rider there. He had the look on his face, didn't he? He had a game face on.
And with that timeout call, the clock will not start until the ball is snapped.
They're going to have to take a little bit of time to run this play, or they're going to have to punt.
Brian Hansen is stopped at the 7-yard line with 22 seconds remaining.
They're going to have to punt. And that's what Ottawa wanted. They wanted to have a chance at this last punt.
Third down.
Baker was in conversation with Faragelli on the sideline along with Ellingson and Climie, and Baker has come out to join Ellingson and Climie as the punt returners. Well, obviously they're not going to run it back. They're going to try and return the kick.
This is going to be like a kick back. I think they're going to go for the 1 point. This will be the kick back. If Baker, I'm surprised Baker isn't in the middle. But they're going to get the ball to him and make sure that he gets an opportunity to kick it out of that end zone for at least 1 point. Good strategy on the part of Joe Faragelli. They're going to milk everything they can out of this last play. If it's only 1 point, so be it.
A time count violation as the BC Lions started this play with 22 seconds remaining on the clock.
Please put 2 seconds back on the clock.
They are readjusting the time clock. The same situation, however, the Lions will be in a third down position back at the 4-yard line, and now Obilovich has sent Flutie out there. Flutie is going to take the snap and
hope for a slow whistle
and ground the ball.
He's got to waste those 2 seconds.
The clock starts when the ball is snapped, and I think he managed to do it.
BC 24, Riders 14.
He had to take 2 seconds off the clock, and he succeeded down at the 4-yard line. 24-14 is the score. Let's join Scott Oates.
Don, coming up on Live at the Half, the chairman of the CFL's Board of Governors, Phil Kershaw, standing by in Winnipeg to talk to us live about some important league issues, and he'll do that when we come back to Ottawa.
Does that look all right? Up to the 31-yard line. Kensley Palmer involved in an altercation with Coulter at the 40-yard line, and that draws a penalty flag.
Major foul, face mask, Ottawa number 32, first down.
The face mask violation moves the football up to the 46-yard line. Statistically, in that first half, not much to choose between the two teams.
About 50 yards passing looks like the difference. I mean, rushing, and that goes to the BC Lions, and that's probably a guy by the name of John Volpe is the difference.
Both sides have already run the football through 30 minutes, more than we saw in last night's game between Hamilton and Toronto. A reverse with Alexander. He's going to throw to Christensen. There's a new wrinkle on the reverse by the BC Lions. Obviously, they were running those earlier reverses, trying to set something up, and the left-handed toss by Alexander to Jay Christensen. And he is slow in getting to his feet as he was spun around by Brian Bonner.
Well, that's an opposite of what just happened. Prior to that, they tried a halfback pass before, and it was the opposite. Christensen was trying to throw to Alexander, but Alexander throwing with that left hand. Look at him get out there, the southpaw. Gets it to Christensen, and he made a nice run after he caught the ball before he got lassoed.
Christensen goes out. Spencer McLennan comes in for the BC Lions. 1st and 10 from the 38. Volpe fakes the pass. Penalty flag in the play, and Volpe carries the football to the 33 before being stopped. A holding call will go against the BC Lions.
Was that ever holding? I mean, that was called grab the guy around the head and throw him down so he doesn't get to my running back.
Holding, BC number 66. Second down. Pardon me, first repeated.
That's grab him and throw him on the ground.
They called the penalty on Jim Mills for his right offensive tackle.
One thing you can say about Flutie is he does get the ball around to his backs, his slots, and his wideouts, but he loves the wideouts. He likes to get it downfield.
Trying to set up the screen to Volpe. It was actually closer to center Ian Sinclair, who was out front leading the blocking.
And Ian didn't want that ball. That's the trouble with Volpe. They couldn't find him. There were so many big guys rushing in on Flutie, who isn't a big man himself, and he's searching for Volpe. It's hard to find him in front of Jim Mills and Ian Sinclair and some of the other Leo Groenwagen. They're big people. It's hard to find their small running back on a screen.
2nd and 20 from the 48-yard line. Alexander lines up to the left. Over the middle for Clark. Clark got tangled up trying to break away from Daniel Hunter, and he fell before he could break into the open.
It looked like Daniel Hunter was on him that time. The only problem Ottawa's had, is when there's nobody covering Clark. This time they at least were around the area, and Flago was ready to come in.
Hunter may have stepped in the heel of Clark as he was attempting to run that pattern. At any rate, Clark goes down. It's an incomplete pass, and Pasaglia comes in. A 3rd down punt from the 47-yard line. Drawhorn is the lone man back, waiting for the kick. The ball bounces away from Drawhorn into the end zone, and he's going to take it at the dead ball line, and that is a single point for the BC Lions. There's also a penalty flag on the play.
Did you tell the sitter?
Oh, now don't play the music too loud.
There's pop in the fridge. Help yourself.
We shouldn't be too late.
You really got me going. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing.
Sometimes you just gotta get out there. Canadian life. Now shot it down cold.
Basically, trucks are used for 2 reasons, hauling and towing. And for that, you need power. And the Sierra from GMC Truck has the most standard horsepower, which gives you the hauling and towing capacity you need. Plus, for 5 straight years, the GMC has retained more of its original value than any other full-size pickup truck in Canada. Sierra, powerful and durable. The 1991 Sierra full-size pickup from GMC Truck.
Ladies and gentlemen, your eyes did not deceive you. Late and live at the half at Lansdowne Park, you did catch a glimpse of Elvis. Yes, they had the Blues Brothers at Skydome, Ronnie Hawkins at Arborwind Stadium. Here entertaining at halftime at Lansdowne Park, we had Elvis, all the way from the Burger King in Springfield. You were great. The Duds look good. Tell me about the song. What was it you sang? Heartbreak Hotel?
Heartbreak Hotel, on Dog, and I'm all shook up.
I'm all shook up.
Yeah.
It was well done.
Thank you very much, sir.
And now, you are a football fan. Is there any chance you might buy this team and get them out of the financial strife they're in?
To tell you the truth, man, I'm very supported by the Ottawa people, and I might do that. I might do that.
You might be the only Elvis I know who also speaks French.
Yes, of course.
Right. May we?
May we, may we.
Merci, Elvis.
You're quite welcome.
Don?
Scott, some of those sideline assignments are proving to be rather interesting. On that single point, there was a rough play call against the BC Lions after the single point. As a result, the ball was scrimmaged at the 50-yard line, and on the first play, an incomplete pass. Well,
Elvis is leaving the building, but it looks like Elvis at 50.
Not the same Elvis who used to show up for Memphis football games when you were in the World Football League a few years back. The ball is stripped away from Damon Allen as he attempted to throw. They're ruling an incomplete pass.
I don't think it ever hit the ground. I'll tell you, we are seeing a lot of Mayo. He's coming in there doing a lot of damage. Number 70, Mayo, comes in, and as Allen brings the ball back, watch what Mayo does. Oh, it did hit the ground. We were shielded from it. It looks like I thought Hill just pulled it right out of the air, but it did hit the ground. This Mayo's having a good ball game. He's putting pressure on Damon Allen at will.
Trevathan waits for the third down punt at the 15-yard line, and he is stopped at the 21. 11:42 remaining in the third quarter.
46 yards of punt by Baker, taken by
25-14, the BC Lions lead.
on the play.
Doug Flutie completing 8 of 11 attempts for 130 yards. 1 touchdown. That was the throw to Matt Clark. 2 touchdowns running by John Volpe.
Safe to say, Flutie hasn't had the pressure, the pass rush against him that Damon Allen has had.
Trevathan wide right, Alexander to the left on 1st and 10 from the 22. The toss goes to Volpe. Volpe trying to get outside, and he runs out of room up at the 23-yard line. That will be a pickup of 1. Charles Gordon came over to force Volpe out of bounds.
Patrick Wayne did a good job of forcing that play wide to give Gordon a chance to come up on it. But Volpe, he's been a one-man team, almost 100 yards now. 2 touchdowns, that's a nice day.
He came into the game in 5th place in CFL rushing behind Robert Mims, Reggie Barnes, Reggie Taylor, and Tracy Ham. He's closing in on 100 rushing yards for the day. Flutie to Volpe. He loses the football. Stuman recovers.
Flutie did not want to go to Volpe. Did not want to go to Volpe. He wanted to go downfield. Couldn't find anybody open. So his checkoff man, as you can see, came back over. Checkoff man was Volpe. Volpe starts upfield. But watch the chop. Angelo Snipes came in and chopped the football loose. Greg Stuman recovers the ball. Stuman just outran Rocky Romano to the football.
Now the Ottawa Rough Riders will attempt to capitalize on the turnover. Reggie Barnes with a big hole to the 25, a first down before being stopped by Andrew Thomas.
Well, there's the understudy to Quick Parker, Greg Stuman, and he looked quick on that play when he got the recovery. But watch Reggie Barnes make the break and take it straight up coming out the other side after he's been tackled for another 4 yards. That's a running back.
The number 2 CFL rusher, Reggie Barnes, now has 49 yards. David Conrad bowls his way to the 20, a pickup of close to 6.
Now, David Conrad doesn't get a chance to carry the ball that often, but he's been doing a good job of blocking, and it's nice to see him get the ball down there close to the goal line where he can use some of that power.
Bruce Holmes, who led the CFL in tackles last year while playing for Ottawa, was in on that stop along with O.J. Briggins. On 2nd down, Reggie Barnes gets inside the 10, inside the 5. Touchdown!
My, oh my. trying to catch him with his legs, but there's no way. That's a good extension and to get out over top of it.
And the Rough Riders are going for a two-point conversion. 25-20 is the score. They want to move within a field goal to Barnes. They'll do it.
Bruce Holmes can't get out there. They're running those backs off. Bruce just can't cover. Can't get out to the sideline. Nice throw, nice catch. We got a ball game.
The Rough Riders struck quickly after that Volpe fumble. 3 plays, covering 40 yards. The touchdown toss to Reggie Barnes. And then an identical pass pattern resulting in the two-point conversion, bringing the Rough Riders within 3 of the leading BC Lions.
Well, a good running back has to be his own blocker sometimes, and that's what Reggie Barnes was. He blocked for himself and made some nice extra yardage after he was hit.
Lorenzo Graham on the kickoff return is spun around at the 36. The first hit from Brian Bonner and the crowd at Lansdowne Park. Back into the football game with the Rough Riders now trailing by just 3 points. At one stage in the first half, it was 24-8 BC in front of Ottawa.
You know, Don, you see that so often. After a turnover, the other team gets the score. It happens so many times that after you get a turnover, interception, fumble recovery, it pumps up the other team, gives you better field position. Boom, you're out there and you score.
An injured member of the BC Lions, and it appears to be Coulter who is down. Carl Coulter, a backup center, working on special teams, and he was involved in a pretty good collision in attempting to block for Lorenzo Graham on the kickoff return.
Ottawa's using those wedge returns, and Coulter came in. He was the wedge buster, tried to bust up the wedge.
He played college football here in Ottawa. He attended Carleton.
Well, Obi wants to settle that offense down and get them to play the kind of ball they're good at playing, to have some patience, work. Some of those fancy plays work for Obi today, and Obi's not a fancy coach usually. He likes the reverses, he likes the halfback pass and those kinds of things. Faragelli, he just likes to run the football, run some play pass, and win ball games.
He said one of the things he attempted to do when he took over was stress patience. If you make a mistake, and he said, you're going to make mistakes out there, don't get down on yourself. Try and correct what you've done, but don't lose your enthusiasm because of it.
That's one of the things the Rough Riders have done under Joe Faragelli. They haven't gotten particularly down. They haven't let the mistakes, they haven't let another team's lead bother them, and you have to credit Joe with that. That's his philosophy. That's the way they're playing.
The fans at Lansdowne enjoying what they've seen. 25-22, BC leading Ottawa, but the momentum seems to have shifted to the Rough Riders. Flutie dodges a tackle. Alexander makes the catch at the 53. The fans thought it bounced first, but the official ruled a good catch by Ray Alexander.
Well, Flutie had to hop and skip and jump underneath those arms out there trying to catch him, and he still reloaded and got that ball out. Well, the fans may have a point.
Volpe in the middle picking up a block on Lloyd Lewis, buying some time for Flutie, and now Volpe is the ball carrier, battling his way to the 51 of the Ottawa Rough Riders. The first contact by LeBrant Robinson.
Well, he's got to be, Obi's got to be impressed with the way his line is blowing out. They're doing a good job at the point of attack. Pass protection, although Flutie has had to show some mobility, has been holding up.
Volpe now at 97 yards rushing. Safety blitz, the pass intended for Alexander, incomplete. He got his hands on it but couldn't squeeze it. Scott Flagel was coming from his safety position. Gordon was covering Alexander.
That's a miracle that ball got off. Watch Snipes come airborne here, trying to come up over. Patrick Wayne is trying to get up over top of Volpe. He might be short, but he's strong, so he bench pressed him. You can't get over him, Patrick Wayne. There's the tough guy in their defensive secondary. He will hit people.
He delivers some punishing blows from the safety position. One of the criticisms of Flegel is that he has a tendency to gamble. A direct snap to Ryan Hansen. And they caught the Ottawa Rough Riders off guard as Hansen on third down picks up a first down, forced out of bounds by Tracy Gravely.
Well, that was well designed. What they did, they direct snapped the ball, and there was no corner. Watch the left side. There's just no corner on that left side. No contain at all. And they took it out around. Look at all the Ottawa people backing up. Direct snap to the up back. Nice acting job by Pasaglia, and he's got a lead blocker, Skinner, out in front of him before anybody came up to take the leverage.
So rather than turn it over, Ryan Hansen's 19-yard run enables the BC Lions to retain possession, and now Flutie will try and pick up more valuable yardage, and he succeeds. Nice move. He faked as though he was going out of bounds and gets the touchdown. A 32-yard run by Doug Flutie. He faked as though he was going to simply run it out of bounds. I think some of the defenders may have relaxed a little. He did a little pirouette, and bang, he's in the end zone.
Flutie looked like he was trying to pull out their union card. When he took off, he tried to tell them, look, fellas, I'm just a quarterback, a little guy. Don't try to hit me. Watch him. He made it look so easy. He just did a little pirouette, took it back up inside, and then dove into the end zone. This guy is exciting. And then he did a backward spike. Way to go, Doug.
Pasaglia now attempting the convert. He's had a perfect afternoon.
No contain on that right side of the Ottawa Rough Riders. No contain on the punt. No contain on the Flutie run.
32-22 the score. The BC Lions moving back into a 10-point lead. 4 converts this afternoon for Lou Pasaglia. He has now tied J.T. Hayes' record of 363 consecutive converts.
Alexander is looking to get open. Unfortunately, he gets thrown down and gets decked.
Flutie did a great job of selling the defenders on going out of bounds. And Scott Flegel came up, may have relaxed just a little, and suddenly with that pirouette, Flutie went into the end zone.
You may wonder how Doug Flutie has that ability to make those kinds of moves in flight. And that's Doug Flutie. He makes the moves in flight. He's so relaxed an athlete.
Drawhorn is tackled by Ryan Hansen and Spencer McLennan at the 35-yard line with 7:04 remaining in the third quarter. It was the third down gamble by Ryan Hansen that kept the BC drive alive, taking that direct snap and turning it into a 19-yard pickup rather than punt on third down.
Actually, that place on the field, you would expect that Ottawa had anticipated a fake.
First and 10 Ottawa from the 36. Reggie Barnes powers his way up to the 41 for a gain of 5. As we said, Lou Pasaglia has now tied the CFL record for consecutive converts.
Well, Louie's been around a lot longer than everybody on that bench except the team doctor.
Reggie Barnes isn't going to get the first down. As a matter of fact, he didn't quite get back to the line of scrimmage before being brought down by Bruce Holmes.
Surprising 2 running plays. You know, you would anticipate first down, there would be a run, but with 2nd and 5, that's a bit surprising.
6:20 is the time remaining in the third quarter. 32-22, the BC Lions lead the Ottawa Rough Riders on a warm, sunny Sunday afternoon in Ottawa.
Terry Baker's having a best ever game, 52-yard average on his punts.
Another good kick by Baker. Jefferson waits for it at the 25. Bonner made the initial contact, and then Gravely finishes the job.
25-yard line taken by Jefferson.
5:59 is the time remaining in the third quarter.
Tackle made by
Liver win, Don.
And the Ottawa Rough Riders this year have scored victories in 2 games over the Hamilton Ticats. Joe Faragelli's team still has designs on overhauling both the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Toronto Argonauts in the race for first place in the Eastern Division, and that would be quite a comeback if they should do it after losing their first 4.
Well, I think it's possible this year. Their teams are evenly matched.
Flutie has Alexander open, and he finds him at the 52. However, I think it's going to be brought back by a holding call.
Alexander does a good job of escaping off the line from Gordon, and then he just comes back for the football, takes it right off his hip. Unfortunately, there's a holding call. Well, very often when you see a defensive lineman use a rip, an uppercut, the offensive lineman just clamps down on that arm, and they get called for holding.
1st and 20. Draw play with quarterback Flutie, and Flutie is stopped at the 20 by Librant Robinson.
Well, it looked like Robinson was waiting for that. He just came in there and really took a hit, or put a hit on Flutie. Robinson has those shoulder pads filled up. That's the same idea as having that neck collar. But Flutie may have to have a neck collar if he gets hit like this another time. Robinson really came in on him.
I think Greg Battle will attest to Flutie's toughness. You might recall a hit Battle put on Flutie early in the season in a game at Winnipeg Stadium. A lot tougher than that one. Alexander takes the throw. He'll be close to a first down. He tried to stretch out to about the 38-yard line. Charles Gordon was endeavoring to prevent him from doing that.
Flutie loves to catch Alexander man-to-man on someone, and he just takes it inside, puts the ball where he can catch it before the backer can get there to help.
Alexander did extend far enough for a BC first down. The ball between the 37 and the 38-yard stripe. 4:08 remaining in the third quarter. Stuman has Flutie for a loss back inside the 20. The ball is still loose. Lewis is after it. He's got it. But I believe they're going to rule that the play was dead back at the 25.
Good effort by Lloyd Lewis, but you can count on your single hand how many times Doug Flutie gets caught back in the secondary like that. So give Stuman a lot of credit because he took him right at the waist and pulled him down. That's the only way you can catch a Doug Flutie. We don't know when the whistle blew. It looked like a fumble. We didn't hear any whistle.
The fans thought it was a fumble. He was in the grasp of Stuman. His forward progress had been stopped. Jay Christensen on the sidelines. It's intercepted by Gordon. Drawhorn and Gordon were both defending against Christensen, and Flutie's pass was intercepted by Gordon.
Okay, couch coaches, be ready. Flutie drops back. He's running a smash pattern. Outside receiver short, inside receiver deep. He throws it right to you. Get up off the couch and catch this one. Good job by Gordon bringing that ball in. Volpe made sure Bonner didn't get there.
Damon Allen to Reggie Barnes, the same type of play that resulted in the Ottawa touchdown following the previous turnover. O.J. Briggins came over to make the tackle.
They're changing their coverage a little bit on that because they brought Briggins from the outside to cover Barnes rather than bringing their middle linebacker, Bruce Holmes, so they know that that third receiver out is going to be a problem. Should control their blitzing a little bit. You won't see as many blitzes from BC because they have to cover Barnes coming out of the backfield.
2:34 remaining in the third quarter. 32-22. The BC Lions lead the Ottawa Rough Riders. Quickly to Conrad. That hot pattern down to the 26.
Well, they're working the defense now. Obi's shaking his head because whatever they try doesn't seem to be working. They're trying to put Brigance outside, working on the third receiver. Look what happens. Conrad slipped in. Everybody's looking for Barnes. Conrad takes it up the middle. They tried to make a sandwich out of him, but he still came through for an extra yardage.
1st and 10. Ottawa at the BC 27. 1:54 remaining in the third quarter. On the last turnover, the Ottawa Rough Riders struck quickly in just 3 plays for a major score. Sideline pattern intended for Brown, or Brock Smith, I should say, incomplete.
You know, Mayo should get a trophy for this game because he has really been in that second. He's been in on Damon Allen almost every time he's trying to throw the ball. He doesn't even care about play action. He doesn't even look at it.
Down goes Damon Allen, with Mayo getting there just a fraction too late.
Lionel Mayo is giving good outside pass rush, and that's really disturbed Damon.
This could be. No, it isn't. He got it off just in time. Reggie Barnes to the 11 for a first down. I thought that Damon Allen was going to get another time count violation. He got it away with 1 second remaining.
And it worked. Damon Allen saw the defensive coverage come back with the outside linebacker coming at the top of your screen. He knows Stu Hill's coming. He's got the third receiver out. They can't get out there to cover him. No chance.
We're into the final minute of the third quarter. It's 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Damon Allen to the other side to Barnes. He'll score. That play has been most effective for the Ottawa Rough Riders. It resulted in an earlier touchdown by Barnes and a 2-point conversion. He gets another touchdown, this time going to his right.
Rich Barnes caught the football coming out on the flat, and there's no chance for Stuart Hill. It's once been said that if Stu Hill covers and passes, he's doing you a favor because he's such a good pass rusher. It's the only way they could cover it, so they had Stu Hill trying to come outside on Reggie Barnes to no avail.
Barnes with his second touchdown. Terry Baker with the convert. And once again, the Rough Riders trail by just 3 points with 42 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
When you see the 2 backs coming here, the inside receiver came out. They got 2 linebackers that are confused in here. Reggie Barnes is taking it out to the flat, and they cannot cover him all the way to the outside. Stu Hill's trying to recover, trying to get back to the outside. Reggie Barnes in the flat and all the way up for the touchdown. I guess you could call that a pick play.
As a running back, Barnes has scored 8 touchdowns this year. Twice this afternoon, he has taken it in as a receiver. Lorenzo Graham starts from his 7-yard line on this kickoff return. Drawhorn makes the tackle, jumping on his back at the 35 with 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Tracy Gravely, who was involved in that play as well, limping as he heads off to the Ottawa bench.
This game's a lot of fun, Don. There's so much strategy going on that they're trying to work each team away from what they do best.
As we follow Gravely downfield, you see a block put on him. or an attempted block by Christensen, and then Gravely gets tangled up with the fallen Christensen. Flutie to Skinner. A little stutter step, and he gets some additional yardage and a first down. Forced out by Brian Bonner.
Well, Flutie's saying, I can do the same thing that you can do. I'll throw to my back in the flat. Gravely, I don't know. He looks like he got a little bit of a knee problem, and they're going to have to scramble on special teams to replace him because he's been really active.
It appeared as though he banged his knee on Jay Christensen. This should be the final play of the third quarter. Pass was deflected. Patrick Wayne, the Ottawa linebacker, got a hand up to deflect that Flutie throw, and that is the final play of the third quarter, with BC leading by 3. Leading by 3, the BC Lions start the fourth quarter with 2nd and 10 from the 50-yard line. At one point in the football game, they enjoyed a 16-point advantage, but the Ottawa Rough Riders have fought back. Here comes Daniel Hunter. Flutie avoids him and gets a pass away, and there's a penalty flag, and I think Hunter is going to be called. Flutie stepped away from Hunter the first time, and then as Flutie sprinted to the sidelines, perhaps born of frustration, Hunter went after him again and draws a penalty. Statistically, the Lions...
Unnecessary roughness, Ottawa number 27.
Statistically, the Lions have 418 yards, 101 yards better than the Rough Riders, but they lead by just 3 points.
Well, here's Flutie trying to come out and look for somebody. He's buying time, trying to find somebody open, and Hunter came back around and just gave him a little bit of a over-the-head tap.
BC 1st and 10 from the 45. Stuman gets the quarterback Doug Flutie, and then Patrick Wayne finishes the job.
Well, Bilovich is really upset because he wanted to get some pass protection in there. They had just gotten the advantage of that penalty. Now they waste it all on a sack. Patrick Wayne makes him reroute, but Stuman's in there right down on his knees, and then Patrick Wayne finishes the job. Stuman's starting to come into his own. Some of the Ottawa Rough Riders were waiting for him to show some of that quickness that he had shown in the years back.
2nd and 19. Here comes Stuman again. Kropke is also there. The pass intended for Alexander. He couldn't stay in bounds and make the catch at the same time. And BC is forced to send out the punting unit.
Well, that's really the first series where we saw pass rush from the Rough Riders that we had seen in the past. That was excellent pressure on the quarterback in that particular series. Even Hunter, though he got a penalty, still made Flutie reroute. Defense is getting a standing ovation. Rough Riders are first in total yardage defense.
Good kick by Pasaglia. Drawhorn goes back to the 5-yard line. And does a pretty good job of returning it to the 30 before being hauled down by Chris Major. That's where Ottawa will scrimmage with 13:30 remaining in the game. Doug Flutie in communication with Joe Paopao upstairs, and he's probably asking what Ottawa is doing with the pressure they have been applying on the last few downs.
Well, Doug Flutie always finds time. He always has time, but those receivers aren't getting open, and then the pressure finally starts to come into him, and that's what he's upset about, because Flutie will get back there and he'll buy you 5 or 6 seconds, but boy, somebody's got to get open. Some receiver has to work open, and that's what he's telling Joe up on the phone. Hey, Joe, tell the receivers to get open. I don't like to get knocked on the ground.
1st and 10. The Rough Riders at their own 28. A handoff inside, a little counter action to Reggie Barnes, and he carries to the 35. Stopped by defensive end Stuart Hill.
That's one of Damon Allen's favorite series, and Joe Faragelli likes him to run that. That's a trap series. He also has a keep off that, and he also has a play pass off of that. We haven't seen it the first half. Little counter trap coming back.
2nd and 3. Underthrown is Barnes. They went to the well once too often with that particular play.
It looked like Barnes was open, but Damon just put it in the dirt in front of him. And Joe's just killing that chewing gum.
Reggie Barnes has scored 2 Ottawa touchdowns in the second half as the Riders have attempted to mount a comeback to overcome what was a 16-point deficit in the first half. Baker still has a punting average over 50 yards per kick, doing an outstanding job of booting the ball for the Ottawa Rough Riders, and he gets away another good kick. Jefferson takes it at the 32, and he'll be stopped at the 39. Sean Foudy.
Not only is Baker kicking the ball well, his net yardage is good. They're really stopping him without gaining much yard. They have to give him 5 yards.
Some last-minute instructions for Flutie with 12:22 remaining.
Give the ball to Volpe. I think that would be one of the instructions. Gene Gaines has the defense. He's getting them ready to when they go back out.
Trevathan comes to the right. Alexander wide left. Both corners up tight on the wide outs. Little dump pass to Skinner. First down, BC.
It's almost like a middle screen. What Flutie does, he fakes to the running back on a counter play, and then the blocker becomes the receiver. And Skinner just turns around, catches the ball, and has some blockers in front of him.
1st and 10 BC. The Lions are at their own 52. This time Alexander goes right, Trevathan to the left. Alexander got away from Andre Francis and made the reception for a first down at the 44 of Ottawa.
Well, this is the mismatch with Alexander at 6'4". He just comes around and he says, "Get out of my way, little buddy." Turns around and catches the ball. He just gave a little juke on the shoulder, and that turned Andre around.
1st and 10. They position the ball at the 43. Alexander with over 1,000 yards now on the season. Hand off to Volpe, and Volpe is tripped up by Greg Stuman.
That's the tough part of the counter. If you can catch it before it gets started, you got a chance, and that's what Stuman did. He caught the counter before Volpe gets started. Volpe has to spot you about 3 steps to show the counter action. Volpe's much better, it seems, going straight ahead.
The Lions have flicked on 9 of 2nd down conversions. Stuman was trying to pressure Flutie. He got away from him and throws complete to Matt Clark. And that's another BC first down. Stuman was through quickly, but Flutie, with his athletic skills, got away from him. And Volpe also helped out with a block on Stuman.
Well, that's a great effort by Flutie. And he gets pressure here, but watch what he does. He gets the ball out to Clark while Drawhorn thinks that they're going to come back to the inside. So he looked him off a little bit even though he was under pressure.
1st and 10 at the 27. 9:54 remaining in the game. Hand off to Volpe. He is stopped at the 23 by Patrick Wayne.
Patrick Wayne making the tackle.
John Volpe got the ball on the counter play coming back. He really didn't have any place to go. He had to stutter step to get around his own lineman. And Angelo Snipes and Brian Bonner came up and reacted on it.
Well, every running back looks towards a 100-yard game, and Volpe has carried 14 times now for 103 yards. Alexander reached for the football at the 5, but couldn't haul it in. Charles Gordon was staying with him.
Charles Gordon was keying on Doug Flutie. He saw Flutie looking Alexander's way, came up and just stripped him of the ball. They had 5 receivers to the other side of the field. Alexander all alone to the backside, but Flutie tipped it off a little bit. And Charles Gordon came right under and knocked the ball loose. That's a good defensive play.
Alexander really stretched out, attempting to haul in the pass from Flutie. With 9:07 remaining, on 3rd down, the Lions will send in the field goal unit. Charles Gordon injured his left ankle, it would appear. And it would also appear that it isn't too serious.
He was totally concentrating on playing that football. Didn't really care about how he landed, and he landed on top of Alexander's ankle.
The CFL's all-time scoring leader, Lou Pasaglia, will attempt to increase the BC advantage to 6 points.
And Julio Caravetta is rehearsing mentally that maybe he'd be the guy out there doing the kicking. Someday he may be. Not for a while. Louis still young.
Pasaglia's kick from that range is almost automatic. And the Lions now lead by 6 with 8:47 left. Julio Caravetta may eventually replace Lou Pasaglia as the BC Lions field goal kicker, but the 15-year veteran at the moment has no intentions of calling it quits. He is number 2 all-time in field goal attempts, 708. He's been successful on 504. Only Dave Cutler has better statistics, 790 attempts, 565 completions. Reggie Barnes carries the ball into BC territory, stopped at the 53. Ken Petway made the tackle. 8:23 remains in the game. 6 points separating Ottawa and BC.
Reggie Barnes carried that football on a screen pass. When you're getting Mayo upfield like you are, then the screen pass should go. As Barnes catches it, watch the blocks here. Coming down in front of the screen, all the way downfield, he's getting good blocks in front of him. And Barnes, give him 5 yards, he'll make 15.
It's been a favorite play, and here's a fumble. The ball loose. Allen was hit from behind by Mayo, and he knocked the ball loose, but I think the Ottawa Rough Riders managed to get it back. Brian Ellerbrun, it appeared, pounced on the football as Damon Allen took a shot from behind from Mayo.
Lionel Mayo's working on Rob Smith, and he just ran all the way around the corner, and you don't have that much time, Damon. If you're going to stay in the pocket, you got to throw it. He made him cough it up. That's pass rush by Lionel Mayo.
The Riders were fortunate. They got the football back on 2nd and 15. Allen looks downfield for Climby. He can't make the catch. .706 the time remaining in the game.
Well, Climby's working here on Jefferson, and as he makes his break, the ball's a little bit low, but it's there. It's right in his chest. That's probably the problem. It bounced out of the chest. You got to catch those with your hands. That's what Joe Fairkelly's telling him. Catch it with your hands.
Chest at about 3 inches off the ground.
That's where his chest was. His chest was down at 3 inches. Anyway, Coach Fairkelly would want him to catch that one.
Baker's kick fielded by Jefferson back at the 9-yard line. This time Jefferson breaks away. Baker slowed him up, and Hunter made the tackle, but not before Jefferson got back to the 45, a run back of 35.
The Western Rough Riders and the Bombers are nicely underway at Winnipeg Stadium. The Riders have the lead. They were tied at 7. Byron K. Williams, brought in by Don Matthews when he took over from John Gregory 3 games ago, caught a pass from Kent Austin, Saskatchewan was on its own 25. The pass good for about 15. Williams ran the rest of the way, and it's 14-7 Riders in the first quarter in Winnipeg, Don.
Winnipeg still reeling from the Labor Day weekend loss at Taylor Field as Saskatchewan whipped the Bombers 56-23. Jefferson with a fine run back, giving Flutie field position at the 45 with 6:36 remaining. And BC in front of Ottawa by 6 points.
BC needs some insurance points. 6 points isn't enough.
Volpe will try and provide some of those insurance points. He's already scored 2 touchdowns, and he gallops to the 45 of Ottawa.
Volpe does such a good job of finding the hole. There's really not a hole at the designated spot. As he drops over there, he sees the coverage, cuts all the way back. Drawhorn, he flips him up like a flea. Flagel, he throws him off. That's a nice gain by Volpe, and a good cutback. That's a play that didn't really have any place to go.
At the start of our telecast, we said that the Ottawa Rough Riders would have to find a way of stopping Volpe this afternoon. So far, they have not. 123 yards, and now Flutie throws to Christensen. And Christensen gets another BC first down to the 30-yard line.
Well, that looked like a halfback blitz, and then Drawhorn dropped all the way back. There wasn't anybody on Christensen, and Drawhorn had to come back and try to catch him. There's Drawhorn on the blitz. Christensen gave him an impression he was blocking, and then slipped out into the flat, and he does a good job of running, even though his ankle looks really tender.
On that block, Christensen went right under Drawhorn, down on the ground, got back, and got into the pass pattern. A lot of movement at the line of scrimmage as the ball goes to Volpe, and he fights his way to the 25. A gain of 5 more.
And Drawhorn on the play.
Well, Obi wants at least 3 out of this drive.
Gain of 5.
And Volpe almost single-handedly took them down the field for this. Makes the nice cuts. Always looking for that little seam, and then he squirts through.
Pobilovich constantly talking with offensive line coach Bob Hefner. Tony Kimbrough, the former Ottawa quarterback, now the BC backup, also listening to what the 2 coaches are saying. Matt Clark makes the catch. And it's another BC first down at the 18-yard line.
Daniel Hunter came over and made the hit, but he mistimed it. He wanted to play the ball, and he just didn't get it done. You got to like Matt Clark. He always finds a way to get open. If he has to make a break, he doesn't look like he's got a lot of speed, but he runs good routes and always finds that open spot in the defense.
Clark and Trevathan both came out of Montana, and they have made a valuable contribution to the BC passing attack this season. Brian Hansen trying to turn the corner, taken out of bounds by Angelo Snipes.
Brought down by Snipes.
Oh, and was he ever? He got pancaked.
And there's a penalty flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
Holding, BC number 23, first down.
Volpe was guilty of holding. That takes the ball back to the 27-yard line.
Well, there's Volpe on Patrick Wayne, and you can see he just got him around the waist and pulling a little claw. That's illegal. Can't do that, John.
Trevathan left, Alexander to the right. How he escaped that, I don't know, but into the end zone will go Ryan Hansen.
Flutie to Hansen, 27 yards.
Well, you better credit a lot to Doug Flutie on that play, because that was a middle screen. Doug Flutie coming out sees that he can't run the middle screen. He's got 2 people in his face, so he reversed his field, and then keeping with the play, came back and put the ball out there. Watch him. He reverses out. The middle screen is set up perfectly. They got the lineman out in front, and by taking that extra time, he gets Jamie Terrace out to make the key block. and Hansen's in for the touchdown. What a play by Doug Flutie.
There were two Ottawa defenders who I'm sure thought they had Flutie all wrapped up. He spun away, flipped it out to Hansen, and he went the rest of the way for the major score. His first touchdown of the year, and Lou Pasaglia has now put his name into the CFL record book with his 364th consecutive convert, breaking J.T. Hayes' record. 3:26 is the time remaining here at Lansdowne Park. 42-29. The BC Lions now in front. The attendance this afternoon, 24,171. The Lions hoping to move into a second-place tie in the West. With a victory today, they would be deadlocked with the Edmonton Eskimos, just 2 points back of the first-place Calgary Stampeders. And Hansen smiling as he comes back to do some work on the kickoff team.
Well, you got to stay with the play that's called, and there's number 34, Hansen. When Flutie comes out, he runs the counter screen, and he gets a lot of pressure upfield, but he buys time, still comes back and gets the ball to number 34 for the touchdown. Play the play that's called, they say, and that is what he did. He played the play.
171.
The kickoff attempt went out of bounds. They'll do it over again, this time from 5 yards further back. Caravetta will kick off from the 30.
One of the things that has helped Louis Pasaglia this year is they've got somebody that can do the kickoffs. Louis always struggled with the kickoffs, and it is a different type of kick than your punting and your field goal kicking. So having the old boy rest his leg a little bit, Julio Caravetta has certainly helped Louis because he's here doing those jobs.
Drawhorn waits for it at the 18. Drawhorn loses the football. O.J. Brigant stripped the ball from Drawhorn. And Flutie is probably explaining to Pow Pow just what happened on that last play.
I think he's probably telling Pow Pow to order 2 pizzas with the works.
Right now, let's go down to the sidelines and join Scott Oates.
Don, at last report in Winnipeg, Saskatchewan led the Bombers 14-7 in the first quarter, but the Bombers have come back. They scored a touchdown, and now Trevor Kennard has given the Bombers a 20-14 lead over the Rough Riders. A chip shot that was automatic for the veteran, and the Bombers have the lead in the second quarter.
Jock Climbing makes a fine catch at the 47-yard line, giving Ottawa a first down with 3 minutes remaining in the game. Ottawa into BC territory, trailing 42-29. So far in the fourth quarter, when the Ottawa Rough Riders desperately needed points, they have been shut out by the BC defense. And BC has scored 10 points here in quarter number 4.
So Jacques Climbing goes way up for that football and brings it back down and doesn't worry about how he's going to land on the turf.
First and 10. The Riders are at the BC 47-yard line. 24-20 was the score in favor of BC Wednesday night at BC Place Stadium. James Ellingson is open at the 40, and he's caught immediately by Thomas. A gain of 7 yards.
Joe wants to keep it going. Faragelli would like to hurry up offense. It looks like he's given the signal to Damon. Gene Gaines is giving signals. The advantage of the hurry up offense is the defense really can't get set.
Doesn't make any difference. Petway intercepts. Damon Allen had a shot at him. Petway got away, and he stumbles to the 1-yard line. And there is also a late penalty flag. The call is going to go against the Ottawa Rough Riders, I think, for a late hit by Irv Damon.
Ball number 1, the return, 87 yards.
A 77-yard interception return by Ken Petway with 2:25 remaining, and with first and goal from the 1. This one, I think, is now over.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Ottawa number 54. First down.
You know, when those linemen run that far down the field, they're going to make somebody pay for it. Watch Damon try to throw back into the flat, wide side of the field into the flat. Petway just took that football on off the shoe tops and took off with a dead run. Nobody between him and, well, Damon tried to do it, but he did a little Olay. Now Herb Damon comes in and puts a stamp of approval.
Stay onside, all right?
Said, I didn't run all the way downfield not to hit somebody. I don't care if he is down. I'm going to hit him anyway.
First and goal from the 1 with 2:25 remaining. Flutie gives to Volpe. He has his third touchdown of the day, and he made it look easy.
Well, you got to credit Volpe. He has played a whale of a ball game. I mean, he's got about 150 yards, and he's really unhinged. A good defense. The Ottawa defense, one of the top-ranked defenses in the CFL, and Volpe just gave them a few lessons today.
3 touchdowns this afternoon. Volpe followed the lead block of Lorenzo Graham into the end zone. 48-29 the score with 2:23 remaining. Lou Pasaglia with the point after. .365 consecutively.
This is the powerhouse backfield, and what they do is they come in and make those blocks in here, and then when they come out and give the ball to Volpe, he just comes in and says, I'm going to go, I'm not even going to go down to the ground, I'm going to go in standing up. I'll go right through that little lane, that little alley that you caused for me. Watch the lead back come in on play go, boom, he hits him. Volpe says, slip through there and make it easy. That's my third touchdown of the day.
17 carries for Volpe, 129 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pass reception for 19 yards. I think it's safe to say he's made a contribution to that BC offense today.
Boy, has he ever. I'd take 22 and 23 any day.
They could play in your team, could they?
I think we could find a place for them. This Flutie's amazing. The things that he gets done, in spite of what happens, he never gets unhinged. He always makes things work.
Anthony Drawhorn's kickoff return will give Ottawa a first down at the 45-yard line. We remind you this program is copyrighted and is strictly for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, exhibition, or distribution in whole or in part without the express written consent of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation is strictly prohibited.
Looks like the sun's setting on Ottawa today. Papa Joe's not very happy with that fourth quarter. That's the quarter where they came unhinged. It looked like they were going to catch up.
4 straight wins after taking over, and now 2 consecutive losses to the BC Lions within 5 days. Screen pass intended for Reggie Barnes, incomplete.
Well, he had the lineman out in front of him. He had a chance. You can't run before you catch the ball.
With 2:13 remaining, Tony Kimbrough appears getting set to move in as the BC quarterback if they get the football back.
Well, he needs some playing time. You know, the way Doug Flutie takes hits and the way he runs around, you got to get that backup quarterback in there when there's a chance, and Coach Abilovich thinks this would be a good chance.
Allen is almost intercepted again by Chris Major.
We said Chris Major would have to come up big against Eddie Brown, and he's done that. I haven't heard the name Eddie Brown today, so you got to credit Chris Major for that play. And Bruce Holmes has done a good job on the running attack. But up front, I think Lionel Mayo and Keith Poe, pretty good ball players. They look like they can rush the passer. I think the Lions have solved some of their defensive problems.
The Lions have pretty much shut down the Ottawa receivers with the exception of Jock Climby and running back Reggie Barnes. Baker's third down kick. Fielded by Jefferson at the 25. and Jefferson simply runs it out of bounds at the 29. 1:59 is the time remaining. 49-29. The BC Lions lead the Ottawa Rough Riders. And Tony Kimbrough, I think, is going to get an opportunity to play quarterback for BC. Yes, here he comes onto the field.
He should know what the Ottawa Rough Riders look like. He's faced them almost every day for the last 2 years, but not this year. Traded to BC, Bart Hall, Brett Hall. Bart Hall.
Brett's the hockey player, and Lorenzo Graham is the running back, and will he be caught? Tracy Gravely was just able to reach out and pull him down, but not before he got to the 16-yard line. A 62-yard gallop for Lorenzo Graham, who has replaced John Volpe at running back.
Well, Lorenzo Graham decided, hey, if I get my chance in there, I'm going to show people what I used to do. And he's got good speed. I'm surprised he got caught from behind.
The ball at the 17, first and 10, BC. 1:45 remaining in the game. The Lions threatening to go over 50 points. Kimbrough can't find a receiver. He'll run. Gets a block from Skinner and scores.
17 yards. Tony Kimbrough for the TD.
Well, Kimbrough says that's all there is to it. 2 plays.
Touchdown.
And that'll move you 79 yards for a touchdown.
Well, there's 2 that don't get to play very often. Lorenzo Graham and Tony Kimbrough, and they made it look easy. Wonder why the starters didn't do that.
Kimbrough was looking to throw, couldn't find anyone open, then gets a key block from Chris Skinner right there, and then romps into the end zone with the football held high, celebrating a touchdown, and he'll keep that football as a souvenir. That's his first ever in the CFL. And Lou Pasaglia adds yet another convert to his consecutive streak total. That is now a league record.
Well, there are going to be some coaches from Ottawa a little bit upset about the effort on this play. I mean, there's a couple people just standing around watching the play happen. And Skinner came in and really put a lick on Drawhorn to set that touchdown, set the tone on the touchdown. But that was not a great effort by the Rough Riders.
Kimbrough accepting congratulations from his teammates on his first ever CFL touchdown.
Well, it always feels good. You come in against the team that traded you away and you have a good ball game. When Creighton O'Malley congratulates you, you know you've had a good ball game. He won't even give you a pair of socks. But when he shakes your hand, you've done well.
56-29. At the end of the third quarter, remember, it was 32-29 for BC, and it appeared as though the momentum had shifted to the Ottawa Rough Riders. But Flutie took control in the fourth quarter, and Kimbrough has finished it off. Drawhorn returns the kickoff to the 43 with 1:19 remaining.
By Drawhorn. Return is 25.
David Ridgway has kicked a field goal for Saskatchewan. It's now a 3-point game in the second quarter. Winnipeg leading.
Well, your home team theory may not hold up here, Don.
No, the home team won the first couple of games. And now the BC Lions, the visiting team, have taken control as Damon Allen fires the strike to Jock Climby at the 40-yard line. All 8 teams involved in home-and-home engagements, weeks 9 and 10 on the CFL schedule. The Ottawa Rough Riders next week travel to Hamilton. We'll have that game for you on CBC television. The BC Lions return home to entertain the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Back to live action. The pass complete to James Ellingson. This will be another First down for Ottawa with 1:04 remaining. Robin Belanger made the tackle.
Ellingson worked back inside the defenders, and Damon Allen, with his mobility, found enough time to get it to Ellingson. They need a touchdown quick.
There was considerable optimism on the part of the Rough Riders and their fans coming into this game after Ottawa had come so close on Wednesday at BC Place Stadium. Long throw intended for Brown, incomplete. 49 seconds remaining.
Well, when you lose a game 24-20 and you've been on the 1-yard line, you think your quarterback was across the goal line, didn't get credit for the touchdown. You know, you have a tendency to think about that more than the upcoming game, and I think that's what possibly caught the Rough Riders off guard.
And they were down at the 16-yard line late in the game with a chance to win it, and they failed. So they had hopes that coming home they would reverse the situation, but it is the BC Lions who have played solid football today. 56-29 the score. Doug Flutie directing a very impressive offense. 44 seconds remaining. The BC Lions moving into a tie for second place now in the West with the Edmonton Eskimos.
He said hello to all of New England, didn't he? I like to hear those guys say hello to their mom and dad. And dad, you guys out there, listen up.
Mayo had Allen step away from him, and now Allen steps away from a few more, including Wetmore, and gets inside the 15-yard line. 23 seconds, the time remaining.
I think Coach Obilovich has to be happy with the way his offense didn't give up very many sacks, because the Rough Riders had been number 1 in sacks, and BC hadn't even been in the picture in sacks, and they're doing a good job of pressuring the quarterbacks.
Damon Allen swinging it out to Barnes. He won't get into the end zone. He's prevented from scoring his 3rd touchdown by Norman Jefferson. Time for one more play, perhaps at the 3-yard line.
Well, if they get up to the line of scrimmage.
This will be the final play of the ball game. Barnes again. And they do credit Barnes with a touchdown. And Obilovich is upset.
Come on, Coach, it doesn't matter.
He thought that Barnes had been down at the 1. And it looked as though he made initial contact outside the goal area.
Hope he's going to ruin a good hat that way. Well, did the ball hit? Did the ball go across the plane before the knee?
I think they are ruling. One official signaled a touchdown, but I think he was overruled. And they are saying that Barnes did not get into the end zone. So I guess Obilovich feels somewhat vindicated and that his protest was upheld. And it will be a final score of 56-29. BC over Ottawa. And with the victory, Bob Obilovich and the BC Lions move into a tie for second place in the West with the Edmonton Eskimos. And they are just 2 points back of the league-leading Calgary Stampeders. Ottawa remains 3rd in the East.